Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Question Reality with Priscilla Leona, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Question Reality Radio Show. I'm Priscilla Leona, producer and host of this show, and we are coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. For 11 years, we've been providing our audience with entertainment industry career advice. And this show is for you if you're questioning your career reality about pursuing a career in show business. Now, the guests on this show include Emmy winners, Grammy winners, Tony Award winners, reality TV stars, producers, directors, casting directors, talent managers, actors, singers, comedians, writers, PR agents, screenwriters, script supervisors, stunt people, entertainment attorneys, and the list just goes on and on and on forever and ever. If they're in entertainment, I will try to snag them to be on this show to give you advice. Now, if you missed any of our shows, here are the 3 ways that you can listen to past shows. Number 1, you can go to our archive page, which is on the latalkradio.com website, latalkradio.com, and you just search for the title of our show, Question Reality. Number 2, you can go to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher.com under the podcast section, and you can listen to our shows there. And number 3, you can download our free mobile app on the App Store or the Google Play Store. And you can listen to me all day, 24 hours a day, every day of your life. Oh my God, wouldn't that be something? Oh, that would be terrible. So now when you download the free LA Talk Radio mobile app, please explore our other shows that are on LA Talk Radio. There are so many shows. I mean, it's incredible. We cover everything. We have a bunch of super fun hosts, which is always important to have fun hosts, and they're discussing really exciting and informative topics. So there is just something for everyone on LA Talk Radio. So make sure that you get the app. And finally, if you want to be a guest or refer someone to be on my show to promote themselves, their products, and help listeners with sage career advice, we are currently booking for 2019, but you have to go to our official website. Our official website is different from latalkradio.com. A lot of people get confused and I get emails, and just go to the official website. It is questionrealityradioshow.com. Questionrealityradioshow.com, not latalkradio.com. Now, latalkradio.com is the website where we air the show, just to clarify that. And Question Reality Radio show is where we have the 2019 guest schedule. So that's where you also go to submit for guest consideration. So just click the contact link, and there we are, waiting and ready for you to come on the show. All right, so very excited today. As you know, every week we have fantastic guests on this show for your entertainment. And today is no exception. I was very, very excited that Michael Stover from MTS Management contacted me to ask me to book his client because he's so talented. His name is Brady Novotny. Now, let's just stop. I want you to go to his website, Brady Novotny. Let me spell it. BradyNovotny. Again, BradyNovotny.com. Let me just throw his other websites out there while I'm on this. On Facebook, also Brady Novotny Music. On Twitter, Brady Novotny. Instagram, Brady Novotny Official, And then YouTube, I would imagine, just type his name in. And I want to point out, as I do whenever an opportunity arises, such as Brady has given us today, I always speak to you about branding and how important it is, and not to be cute and silly when it comes to starting your career. At the inception of your career, I would imagine all throughout, the best thing for you to do is to keep it consistent. And as you see here, Brady has done that with his website being his name, bradynovotny.com, Facebook, Brady Novotny Music. So, when you're branding yourself, it is important to make sure that you have a name that people will be able to identify you with by going to Google. Say you're at a party, you're at a networking function. Say you don't have any cards, you don't have a DVD, you don't have anything. You just showed up, you walked your way right to the party. So people are like, oh, so what's your name? You tell them your name. They don't remember anything else, but they say, let me go to Google. They type in Brady Novotny. Ah, there he is. I can find them all over the place. Some of you make the mistake of having these website addresses like too cute for my shoes. Oh, too sexy for my shirt.com. How are people supposed to find you? Ask yourself that. So let's not be cute. Let's be serious, people. Branding, branding, branding. Okay. So enough about that. So I'm assuming everybody's at the BradyNovotny.com website. Well, check that out on your own time, because we got too much excitement going on with Brady being here and everything. Also, very exciting today, we are going to try to play 3 songs today. Usually I only play 1 song. If I'm lucky, once in a rare while, I'll do 2. But listening to his album, which, by the way, is called Passions Collide. Now, with me being a sex fiend, that just really spoke to me. That was just a title. I'm like, yes, I hear it. I'm listening to every song. So I love these songs. So I couldn't decide on just one. So I said, let me try to squeeze 3 in there. So hopefully, if all goes well, around 5:15, we're going to play the first song, which is called Redemption's Cry. Around 5:30, we're going to try to play Carabella, and around 4:45 to close out the show, we're going to try to do Classical Prelude. So I am going to try to stay on schedule, but we are going to have to cut down on the questions, but hopefully Brady will give us answers to help you if you're pursuing a career in the music industry. Real quick, I want to talk about his bio. He is a guitarist, a musician, as we figured that out, but he started playing the guitar at 10 years old, and he was determined to be a world-class guitarist. And he left his first guitar lesson with his instructor, who basically told him to give it up now. And unfortunately, that introduced a 10-year-old child to criticism and disappointment just very early on. And it was just horrible. I can't even imagine how you would tell a child that, but we're going to bash the instructor in a couple minutes, so hold on. However, Brady heard a guitar player, luckily, that ended up motivating him and re-energizing his passion to continue. And this guitar player was named Randy Rhoads. So he just got a surge, and he just went, oh, I'm going to keep at it. He ended up attending Berklee College of Music. He practiced relentlessly, learned everything from the classical pieces, melodic and virtual solos, maybe they're call them, or virtual. I'm not sure what that term. We'll say virtual solos from 80s guitar heroes. Now, everybody knows I'm still stuck in the 80s. I am loving a guitar solo from the 80s now. And he knows jazz fusion, and that led him all the way till today, because he has gained a wide range of experience in the music business. And Brady's 2019 release with Michael Stover of MTS Management Group, MTS Records, as I said, is called Passions Collide, and it features the lead single, which is Redemption's Cry. And when you hear this song, get the Kleenex because it is haunting. It is so, in my opinion, I'm sure you'll agree too, but very haunting and is very hypnotizing. And I'm like, oh, that's so beautiful. But that's just me. I love a good cry. Now this song is this hauntingly beautiful song is from Brady's wife Jennifer, and it's currently charting on the Airplay Today national radio chart. So I am so excited to get in there and talk to Brady. So without further ado, welcome Brady Novotny.
Wow, that was some introduction. Thank you very much.
They always say that. I don't know what they're talking about.
That's great.
Everybody deserves a great introduction.
They do.
Well,
I just call you every morning, I guess.
I know. This is what you need to do. I am the call of the day. Now, first of all, Brady, I just want to say a really big boo to your first guitar lesson instructor. I mean, as I said, what type or kind of person tells a child to give up his passion? You must have been so crushed at 10. So tell us, how did you at 10 years old handle that?
Well, his name was Gary. And,
Gary, we hate you, Gary. I can't imagine he's still teaching. Somebody must have killed his ass by now. I got hit him over the head with a damn guitar, of all things.
Right.
What did you do?
Yeah, well, I don't know how you determine that right off of like 30 minutes of a lesson, but for some reason he did, and I was 10, so I didn't really care what he had to say. I just knew I wanted to do this, and I just put my head down and just kept going and found a new teacher. But later on, I probably would have thought, if I was older and somebody told me that, I probably would have gave it up. But I think at 10, I just didn't care.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's a great way to handle it. Some kids would be crying and in the corner at 10 years old hearing that. So very strong resilience. Well, thank goodness that you ended up hearing the guitar player Randy Rhoads, because I understand that motivated you to push all of that aside and re-energize your passion to continue. So tell us about that experience. I personally am not I'm not a musician or relate to music. However, my husband, he's a software developer by day, and he's a jazz guitar player at night. On the weekends, it's his little hobby. So he would probably know who Randy Rhoads is. I do not. So tell us who he is and how he motivated you.
Sure. He was the guitar player for Ozzy Osbourne. So he was like a hard rock guitar player. And it was at the time when Eddie Van Halen was big on the scene. But Randy Rhoads had a different vibe to him, and he had a more classical training. And since I was taking classical guitar lessons, I kind of heard the sounds, and I kind of identified with him. And plus, reading in magazines, everything, he was a big train buff, and I grew up liking Lionel trains. So I was like drawn to that. And then I heard the song Crazy Train. So I was like, he's rock guitar, he loves trains. I was like, I'm sold. So that's how I kind of fell in love with the guy.
The Crazy Train. Oh yeah, I love that song. That's a great reminder. I actually think I'm gonna buy that when we get off the phone, because I haven't heard that song. That's about the only song I know by Ozzy Osbourne, but it's a great song.
Sure.
So you fell in love with classical and melodic guitar playing. You practiced relentlessly, learning everything, classical, 80s Guitar Hero stuff, jazz fusion. And now we are here today promoting your latest album, again entitled Passions Collide. Now, I've listened, as I said, to all the songs from the album. I totally hear all of those influences, and I wanted to promote all of the songs. We only got to pick one, so let's start with the first one. Let's talk about Redemption's Cry. What I understand your wife Jennifer is singing, so briefly tell us a little bit about the backstory on the song, who wrote it, and how Jennifer ended up singing it.
Well, sure. I actually, I guess to make a long story short, I went down into my studio and just was kind of wanting to practice a little bit, and this melody line kind of came out fairly quickly, and so I grabbed my iPhone and I just recorded it, and the next day I had this song, and I had somebody help me with the lyrics and everything, but for the most part, the song was written within like 24 hours. So it
Wow.
was yeah, it was one of those, cool experiences, you don't get all the time. Sometimes songs take a couple days or weeks or years, but this one kind of happened really quick, and I thought it came at a time too when a lot of things were happening in the world, and actually out in California, there was a lot of fires, there was a lot of school shootings around here, there was all kinds of stuff happening that week when it was written, so it has sort of a spiritual component to it, but for the most part, when I've done interviews and people have commented on it, they kind of say, "Oh, it sounds to them like a medieval sonnet or something like that." So it
Mhm.
kind of transports them back to a different place. And with Game of Thrones now, kind of big,
I
so it's kind of a cool medieval type sound.
Oh, I know. I totally
Yeah.
hear that. I hadn't thought of that term before, but now that you say it, it just attaches immediately. So your wife Jennifer is a singer. Does she sing on is she singing on more of this and I didn't hear her voice on any of the other songs on the album, but has she been singing for you for a while when you come up with your songs, or is she a professional
Yeah,
singer?
yeah, she is. So we've been doing music together, our whole relationship. So it's kind of a different thing. I kind of wanted to always do this type of record. So she was in support of it. And so, I had this one song. I said, I know it needs a female voice, and I knew she could handle it. And I didn't have to pay her. So it kind
Oh,
of worked.
you're gonna pay, or you're paying one way or another. Let me tell you, she'll be at the mall pretty soon if she hasn't gone already. If women, don't be I don't know Jennifer, but Jennifer's a woman, so you'll be paying. Oh my God, but she is a fantastic singer. I love her voice. Now, does she have a website? Is she out, doing gigs and have her own album and her own music out there?
No, she's actually kind of just been doing, not nothing like this. She's been doing a lot of projects with other people and stuff like that. But for the
Well,
most part, she's been
you
kind of
two
just
need to teach. Now, Brady,
yeah.
you should be taking full advantage of her voice. You two should be teamed up like Sonny and Cher. My
Right.
gosh, are you kidding? She has such a gorgeous voice. You two would be like unstoppable. You
All
got
right.
to think
But
about that. Think
yeah,
about that.
yeah,
She's
it's definitely
great.
some things in the next album that she'll be singing more on. So
Uh,
we are definitely looking forward to that.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Well, let's
but
hear Jennifer now. I can't stand it. I want to hear her
sure.
voice right now. Okay, so let's listen to Brady's song on his album Passions Collide. It is called Redemption's Cry. And so who wrote it? We want to give credit to the lyricist too. Who's
Oh,
that?
yeah. I wrote the music, and the lyricist his name was Larry Lefevre.
Larry LaFever. Oh my God, I love that. It's like he's a DJ, like Wolfman
Yeah.
Jack. Larry LaFever. Oh, I got to take that. I got to do something with that. And then we have the beautiful voice of Jennifer. Is it Novotny as well? Last name?
That is. Yes, it is.
Right. So without further ado, let's listen to Redemption's Cry from Passions Collide.
Awake, my love, you're back on that road again. Seems like the only way, sending flares from this broken hell you're in. Reaching, can't see the thing you need. Seems like you're on your own, all alone, and the world won't set you free. history. But if it's up to me, I'd set you free to believe on your history. Won't you come around and hear my passion cries, and to see you in my eyes, still longing for you, waiting for you. Here I am. Will you hear redemption's cry? I'm here for you. My arms are open wide. Here I am. Oh, please hear redemption's cry. Now love it's up to you. Please hear redemption's cry.
That is so incredible. I'm telling you, you almost have to grab a napkin, Brady. Her voice is beautiful, and combined with your beautiful, beautiful guitar playing, I mean, you really execute the sound of the 80s. I mean, I told you earlier that I'm still stuck in the 80s with music.
Yes.
I haven't liked anything really past 1989, but once in a while songs come in. But wow, just the two of you complement each other so beautifully.
Oh, well, thank you.
I love both of you independently as well as together. So think about teaming up with her. Wow, she's got a great voice. Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Does she have, is she on iTunes or have any songs that she's selling on iTunes as well?
No, she does not. So this is kind of like her first sort of out of the nest, so to speak, of
Well,
putting
you know
herself
what?
out there.
You got to hook her up with Michael so he
Right.
can promoting her too if you're not going to take her on as your share. Well,
You
that
never
is,
know. You never
yeah,
know.
that's right. I'm telling you. And you know what? That song sounds like such a hit. I mean,
Oh,
I
cool.
really see that song going far. What's been happening to it? I mean, what have the reviews been like for the overall album? What's happening? Sometimes you think one song is going to be the hit and then another song on the album ends up being a hit. You know what I mean? So,
Sure.
did the song that you think was going to get the most traction, is it the one that you thought, or is it another one?
It is that one.
I knew. See, I knew it. I have
Yeah.
such a great ear, Brady. I really do. And out of all of them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really identify personally with that one.
Hmm.
That one was, but they're all so good though because you have so many great styles. I mean, you play proficiently in so many different styles, and we're gonna play. You guys are definitely going to be able to hear that when we play Brady's next song, which is Carabella, because it starts out with this beautiful, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a flamenco style you start that song out in, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
And
the whole flamenco guitar. Yes, that is correct.
yeah, I mean, and he totally tricks you, everybody, because he starts out, and you think you're going to be like grooving to this beautiful flamenco style guitar, and all of a sudden he switches it up on you, and you're like, what? What's happening? I've never heard it before. That is so cool. So then you got to play it again and again. So I love that. So again, briefly, our audience knows how the album is really gaining traction on the airways, but tell us in your own words what's going on and how you're handling, riding the wave of its success.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really to see a lot of the reviews come back. They've been very, 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 very nice. And so it's great to see all the hard work and everything, pay off, because when you step out to do something, I really, the passions collide. The whole title is My Passions, which is rock and flamenco guitar colliding together on the album. And that's the whole premise of the reason why I did it. And it's, there's not too many people who have done it. So it's either you're going to like it or you're not sure. And that's what I was thinking. But then a lot of the people came back and, with the reviews and said, they really liked it. So it's just really rewarding. I mean, that's success in itself for me.
Yeah,
So
for
it's really
anyone,
exciting.
I would think for sure. Now, how did you work your way up to getting radio airplay? What was your professional process?
Well, getting up to there, I have to say it was all Mike, Michael Stover. He, I know when I finished the record, in today's business, there's so much going on, and it's so different than what it used to be back in the 80s and 90s. That you need somebody who has their hands in all the latest streamings and all kinds of how to get it out there on internet radio and all that other stuff. And I don't know if one person, doing music, playing gigs, and has the time to do that as well. So in my experience, and I just kind of knew that I had to go with somebody that could take care of that end of the business for me.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job.
I love that you bring that up because that is so important, Brady. Having a digital social media footprint is absolutely vital in promoting and maintaining and just advancing your career in any field, not just music, but specifically if you had to, Brady, giving advice to aspiring musicians from your experience, how do you think how should they target their audience and promote themselves via social media? Now, I know that's not your forte, but you do have to work with your PR person because you have to tell them, well, this is the image that I want to provide. This is the, area I want to go in. So you do have to have some input because they're going to ask you. So how do you think that they should target the audience via social media?
Well, I think artist development, you're continually growing it. Sometimes when you first start out, you don't know what to do. You just do something. And I think that's why, you have to do something. You have to try to, and you develop from there. But somebody, once told me, it's like, if you have to know your niche, you have to know, your target audience. If you can say you're just a country singer, that's fine. Or a rock singer, that's fine. But if, like for me, I'm like, okay, well, I'm instrumental rock, melodic rock with a flamenco twist, and so for that, I'm really narrowing it down of what, when you hear my music, you know what you're getting, rather than I'm just a rock artist, So if you can, from what I was told, is if you can narrow it down to something that you can really market and start developing your image around, that seems to be what works. So I thought that was pretty good advice.
Yeah, I love that. And that's very important because not a lot of people, I mean, everybody needs to have a team, right? But not
Yes,
honestly, everybody can afford a team. You're
right.
very fortunate that which we didn't talk about, but Brady here is not just a musician, but I
Right.
believe that you actually ended up going to college and getting a degree in psychology. So I would imagine that you were a practicing psychologist for a while and you hoarded away and stockpiled a bunch of money to pursue your real passion. Am I right?
Yeah, dreams aren't cheap. That's for sure. As Walt Disney said, it takes a lot of money to do dreams.
That's right.
So
That's right.
it's really important to have it's difficult whenever music's just your revenue. You really compromise. And whenever if you can back it up with something at the beginning. And yeah, I did go back to school, and I wanted to grow as a human being and everything. I didn't want to just do music. I wanted to learn other stuff. So I went back to school and got my master's and everything like that. So it was important for me to do that, from a maturity for me. And I did open up my own practice and had patients and all kinds of stuff, and so it was lucrative for sure, but but that it does take money to put this stuff together and hire the right team, and when you start doing that thing, I mean, it's amazing with the people you meet, and it's always such a small circle. No matter what you're in, it's a small circle, of people that know people.
Right. So, when you get to Brady's level, you can, or if you decide to go that path where you have a plan A and a plan B, then you should be putting money aside if you want to go that route because you don't feel totally safe putting all your eggs in one basket and you want to have a second career. Then you can afford to get your team and a PR person and this and that. I think it's the right way to go, but it's not for everyone. They want to just dive
Right.
in, but I would be too scared to do that. But that's why. But I think it's very smart because then you can it's so hard to be a struggling artist. It really is, especially when
Right.
young and you worry so much working 3 jobs and where am I going to sleep, where am I going to get my next meal. I think that it really stunts the creative process, but for some
Mhm.
people they're able to do it, so it just depends, different strokes for different folks. Now
Absolutely.
let me ask you, what surprises have you had so far in your musical career that you weren't expecting? Like, a humorous story or, something that you remember happening while performing, just a big surprise. You're like, wow.
A big surprise. Well, I would say one of the biggest when I was a hired gun back in the day, where I would tour with artists as a hired musician. I was I had to be in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, and it was on New Year's Eve, and I had a plane ticket, and we flew into a blizzard, and it took a long time to land. And it was probably the most scariest flight I was ever on. And we landed. Someone from the venue picked me up at the airport. We flew through town of like this completely snow-covered roads or whatever. Got to the venue. There was people there. I took my jacket off. They handed me my guitar, and as soon as I walked out on stage, they started clicking off the first song. So it was very, very, very close. Too close for
Oh
comfort.
gosh, I would have died. Oh, wow. That is definitely a story to remember. And that happens all the time. So,
Mhm.
what, in your opinion, what are some do's and don'ts of pursuing a career as a musician?
um, you know, I think I heard an interview one time is you have to you have to be present. You have to really stay focused on where you're at. and enjoy that it's a journey. You just, if you become rich and famous, then, there's a whole journey to that. And you have to be happy. You have to be, whatever opportunities in front of you, that's the opportunity you decide if you want to take or not. And that's where it's at. You have to be present. And I know I'm using some psychology there too, but, it's just important. And you really, you have to believe in yourself, of course, but if you just, instead of looking 10 years down the road or 5 years down the road, if you're like, okay, this is the gig and I have to perform my best for this gig. And right now that's the most important thing on my plate. And I'm going to do the best I can. And, so it's good to just stay focused on what's in front of you. And as the opportunities come, and they will, if you try to look at the too many opportunities down the road and trying to get upset and you try to get depressed because they're not coming soon enough or whatever, then you just get discouraged and make bad decisions. But if you stay focused and present, usually you make good decisions.
I totally agree. And I love how you threw the psychology in there, because you have to apply psychology. I mean, how can you not? It's an aspect of every decision that we make in our life. I mean, one of my pet peeves is somebody who says, don't be judgmental. Well, how dumb is that really to say? Because you make decisions and judge from the moment you get up. Am I going to wear this? Is this going to make me look this way? You're judging.
Right.
This might make me look fat. This might make me look skinny. I mean, I don't want to eat that because that, everything that you do during the day, you make a judgment call. So that statement has always driven me crazy. You cannot get through life without making a judgment call. So we are all judgmental. So stop saying that, people. Am I right as a psychologist? Tell me, am I right or am I wrong? I don't know.
Well, I think, I mean, we have to fight certain battles, but yeah, I mean, we do make all these decisions throughout the day that are just, yeah. And someone else has said to me, it's like, you're one person away from making a complete change in your life. And, you're always one person. It only takes one person to give you that break. It takes you that one person to listen to that song or read that script or whatever. You're always one person away that has, so you never know when that person's coming into your life. And, you just have to show up. That's part of the whole thing. You show up.
Right. What is that saying? Who said that? Somebody said showing up, not showing up is 100% of the. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking Wayne Gretzky, but I can't remember what it is right now. So we'll move on about that. So speaking of song, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you have to make judgment calls. Do I leave the house without my wallet? I can't find it. I gotta be somewhere. You're making a judgment call. So everything is a judgment. It's just negative judgment, positive judgment. So whatever.
Sure.
Now, speaking of songs, because I heard the word song in there, I think we're ready to play the second song, Carabella, which I love, and you guys are going to be so surprised. Okay, set this up for us. Give us a really brief backstory, what it's about, how you came up with it. I'm interested always to find out where the names come from. That's
sure.
So tell us a little bit about Carabella.
Yeah, Carabella is it's called Dear Beautiful or My Beautiful, and originally, I obviously was planning on writing something for my wife, and we had just come back from Italy and all the sounds and all the cafes and everything, and it was just really cool to see. But really, the song, what it came out to be was it was about a flirtation. The flamenco guitar is really passionate and flirtatious. And so my vision for it was, I wanted to sort of, looking at my wife, wanted to woo my wife with my passionate melodies. And then I come in with this electric guitar stuff that shows off my testosterone of jumping on the monkey bars when I'm 10. and then it goes back and forth between, look, I'm a nice sensitive guy, and I have muscles, you know. So and then at the and then at the end, it kind of goes into this whole big flamenco celebration, and that kind of signifies, you know, that she decided to marry me, and we're kind of, you know, celebrating our life together. So for me, that's the painting. Now, what everybody else gets, you know, that's up to them.
Exactly.
But, you know.
Everybody gets different things. Well, let's see what you as an audience get. What are you going to get out of this song? You heard Brady's description of how he wrote it. So after you listen to the song, think about what you're getting out of it. So without further ado, let's listen to Carabella by Brady Novotny off of his latest album, Passions Collide. What? Wasn't that exciting?
Thank you.
You can tell you are so passionate about playing guitar. You can really
thank you.
hear it, can't you?
What's that?
I said, you can really hear that in your guitar.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I'm sure
Thank you.
everybody tells you that, but my goodness, as being exposed to it for the first time, listening to your songs today, I'm like, damn, this guy really loves guitar. I cannot wait till my husband gets home so I can turn him on to Brady's music. Oh my
well,
gosh,
that's great.
He's
Awesome.
gonna love it. He's gonna love it. So, question: are all of these songs available on iTunes? Where can we purchase these songs?
Sure. They are the physical copies are through my website, Amazon, iTunes, and on Spotify. There's some streaming, and so on my website there's buttons for everything. So it's a one-stop shop there, and you can get to a YouTube channel, Facebook, everywhere, and including iTunes and Amazon.
So if they go to iTunes, they just type your name in, and all the songs on the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, so real quick, what is next for you? I know that your musicians are always working on something next. What's next? What are you working on now? Give us the scoop.
Right. Yeah. We're, right now, of course, me and Mike are working on promoting the album because it just came out February 14th, Valentine's Day. So we just, it's a little over 90 days old. So we're going to start, we started playing, out and kind of promoting it through some live performances and some cool shows coming up. And probably towards the end of summer, we're going to start working right on the follow-up record. So, but hopefully getting out there and doing some tours around the area here.
That's good. Oh, so all your well, hopefully you'll get to California eventually.
Yeah,
I want to see you
sure.
live. Michael, to get on the ball and book you here in LA. But so if we go to your website, bradynovotny.com, we can see all of the local listings. And when we say local, what is that? What state is that?
Pennsylvania? I'm out of Pennsylvania. Yes, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Okay. So everybody in Pittsburgh, there you go. Brady Novotny is going on tour. So go to his website, bradynovotny.com, and check it out. And I just wanted to tell you how lovely you are. I'd love for you to keep me abreast of your tour dates so that I can just kind of do a shout out for you and give you some free advertising if you're interested.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Just feel free. I think I don't know if you have on Facebook, but free. I don't know if you have a personal page or you just do the music page, but if you have a personal page, friend me so that when you have your tour dates, I can do a posting on all my social media sites. I have tens of thousands of followers, so it would be very, very beneficial for you, and hopefully you get lots of sales too. Well, I just want to get that last song in there. So real quick, we are going to end the show with the very last song. It's only like a minute and a half. It's called Classical Prelude. So we are going to end the show with this beautiful song. Now give a shout out to your fans and tell everyone goodbye while we play the song out. Close the show out with the song.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for listening, and thanks for everybody for checking me out, and let me know what you think. You send me a message. And,
go to his website. Yes. Send Brady a message. Send him a message and let him know. Well, Brady, you got to come back on the show. You make sure that you have Michael book you for to promote the next album when we're ready for the next album. Okay. You have fun today?
Yes, it was a great time. Thank you very much.
So fast. You went so fast, Brady. I feel I had like 25 questions questions. We didn't even get to half of them. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for listening to the show. We're going to close the show out with Brady Novotny's song, which is called Classical Prelude. And it's on his album, Passions Collide. Go to iTunes and check it out. Bye. We'll see you next week.
You're listening to Question Reality with Priscilla Leona, right here on LA Talk Radio.